Hello Internet, how you doing today? Let's get started on learning all about input in our crash course fundamental videos. Ready to start? Let's get going. So here we are back in Visual Studio Community 2019, and we are opening up the new project creation wizard. And so once again, just like we did with output, we're going to be creating a CMake project. Hit next and give a project of name of basic input. Okay, and once again we get the same three files that get created. We've got a input.cpp and a header file.h and our CMake lists. And once again, we will not have to touch the CMake list.txt file or the basic input.h. In fact, I'm going to get rid of it right now. Bam. Okay, so here we're going to include the same thing that we did last time, which is the IO stream header file. Okay, and so once again, if you're a little bit confused as to the basic structure that's here for a C/C++ program, then just go back and watch the output video. That should help. I went through a little bit of those details. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to change, just so that we remember which one we're in, or maybe make sure I remember which one we're in, is I'm just going to change our first line of text that comes out to say something like, welcome to basic input. Okay. Like what I was talking about last video in output, with the concept of streams. And so remember that in our output stream, everything, as you can see here, everything streams out towards Cout, which is our standard output. Input kind of works the same way. So what we need to do is we're going to declare a char, which is a type for handling character data, and we're going to call it, let's just say, input. And this, we're defining a char array of length 200. So basically you can think of it as a string. And we're going to be, let's output some text. How about something like, enter your first name. Whoops. And then for working with cin, kind of just like cout, we have to declare cin. And then this time, we are redirecting our stream traffic inwards, like away from the input. And so we want to direct it into our declared char input array. And then let's display what we just inputted, or what we just received as input, with a simple cout phrase. Thanks for signing up. And then input. And then end of line. Okay. So let's give this a chance. And once again, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. Welcome to basic input. Enter your first name, and let's say Joe. Thanks for signing up, Joe. One thing to be aware of when you're working with C input is that you may notice some funny behavior when you try to do more than one word. So let's go back to our program. Welcome to basic input. Enter your first name, and this time let's enter a full name. So something like Joe Fresh. And then let's hit enter. Oh, thanks for signing up, Joe. There you can see we lost our the rest of the name after Joe. So what happened there is, the way that cin works is that it'll scan any character that gets inputted from the keyboard up until the space, a space or the return. So that's what happened to there. So what we can do to fix that is we can use a standard library type called string and call it full name, just to demonstrate what's happening here. And let's try the same again. Let's try the same thing again. With a cout, enter your full name. Okay, and then let's do it strings. It's getLine. So getLine cin, and then full name. Okay, and then same thing with, we'll just describe what, or not describe, we'll just display the full name that we just received. So thanks, and then full name. Now as you can see, the getLine function, Visual Studio can't find it, and so I think it's in, we'll just include the string header file. Okay, so getLine works. Now there's going to be a bug with this, and it's incredibly not obvious unless you've worked with these before. So I'm going to show you first what happens, and then we'll go through the bug. Okay, so welcome to Basic Input. What's your first name? Let's just call it Wazoo. Thanks for signing up, Wazoo. Enter your full name. Thanks. Okay, you see what happened there? So it took our first name and displayed it, and then all of a sudden it skipped past entering our full name. And so of course when it's time to display it, there's nothing there. What is happening is that the carriage return from the keyboard, once we took in the input, the carriage return from that is kind of left over in the string, in the input buffer. And then what's happening is when we call getLine, it's then picking up that leftover carriage return that's in the input buffer. So to fix that, we just have to type, we have to use a function called cinignore, which is part of the cin standard library. So let's run this again. Okay, welcome to Basic Input. Enter your first name, Wazoo. Thanks for signing up, Wazoo. Enter your full name, and let's say Blake7. Whoops, Blake7. Thanks, Blake7. Okay, so we've now successfully received input, and this is going to be very useful in demo programs that we might start to tackle, as well as working on your own software if you want to start entering input and making something that's a little more interactive in your demos. Okay, so let's do another example, and this time let's use, how about an age? So this time we want an integer. So we are going to declare an int and of an age variable of type int, and that'll store our number data, and we'll display a message, enter your age, and we are going to say cin age, and then cout something like happy age birthday. Hooray. So just display happy birthday with the age. And so again, we're expecting a number here. And so the way the C++ input stream will then work to help us and just pull out a integer from what we type in. Okay, so let's go back, enter our first name, Wazoo. What is my full name? Let's say Blake7. Thanks, Blake7. Enter your age, 42. 42. Happy 42 birthday. Okay. So let's take our age variable here. So we received our age of the user, and now let's multiply that by 10. Or you know what? Let's just add 1. So age equals sign and age plus 1. So we're taking age, and we are adding 1 to the value of age, and then reassigning it back to age with the equal sign. And then now we're displaying it again. So let's see what happens. Okay, so Wazoo is my first name. Let's sign up let's use Blake7 again, and then enter Blake's age. Let's say 42, and so we're expecting it to then display happy 43 birthday. Happy 43 birthday. Okay. All right, that about wraps it up for this episode. Thanks again for tuning in to learn all about input. As you can see on our stack there, next up we'll be discussing arrays, which is a collection of data. This is Wazoo. If you liked what you see, please give this video a like. It helps the algorithm out a lot in YouTube. And we'll see you next time. Thanks everyone. Peace.